Today's video is all about when parents don't let you go for the dream that you've got. It was Sean's statement / question that inspired this video, and he said, my parents don't want me to chase my racing dreams until college is over. And I know that if I want to climb to F1, I need to start as early as possible getting my competition and license points in, which you do. If you want to get to Formula One, then by the time you're 15/16, really you should be in cars racing. But Sean went on to say that he's actually been offered a free drive or a subsidized drive in karting. So it's all there ready for him to go, but he needs his parents' permission and they're just not moving. This is difficult. This is really hard, and it's actually something that a lot of drivers face. Now, on the flip side, there's loads of drivers that face the opposite problem, like the parents are pushing harder than the driver. The parent wants it more than the driver. They're living their life through their son or daughter as they race. On the other side of that, we've got parents that are stopping their children going for it, and that's really difficult. And you see it in all different types of industries. If you look at Steven Spielberg, had the same kind of problem. You know, Steven Spielberg, he's done 35 feature films from Jaws to Jurassic Park. He had the same thing. Parents wanted him to get a stable job. Madonna had the same thing. J.K. Rowling, the writer of the Harry Potter books, same thing. I think it's any time that you want to do something that's outside the box, you want to be an athlete, a singer, a director of films, a race driver, parents are going to worry because they know how difficult it is to succeed in them sectors, in them industries. And it's really not stable. Your chances of a success are not great. So the parents are there to look after you, obviously. So they would prefer you to get your education, you know, do the run-of-the-mill stuff, because that's what they were taught. This is the safe way. And then you can maybe go and dabble in it, but really I want you to have something to fall back on. It's normal. I don't blame them for saying it, because you're most likely going to fail if you go for something you truly love outside the box. So understand where they're coming from first, Sean, and everybody who's struggling with this. It is common. Ayrton Senna had it. His father, Milton, would prefer him to work in the business, the family business, than go to Europe and go for this racing career. Thank God Milton actually let him in the end, because we wouldn't have had Ayrton Senna as we know him. Niki Lauda was another one. A very wealthy business family. You know, they'd done a lot in Austria. And then their son wants to go racing. And playing race cars, that wasn't really what they had for him, and they rejected it and held him back, and he had to go and get his own money and also bank loans and convince people to pay for his racing as well. So it's a common thing. So to give people out there some kind of direction or things you can try, I've come up with 4 things. I'm always doing it in steps, as you know, but it's 4 things that come to my mind that I want to remind you of, and maybe something you can try. And the first one is to understand what their objections are and get really clear on them. You kind of got an idea they don't want you to go because I might have said it for some reason, but I want you to get really clear on what their objections really are. So you say, if they say, we don't want you to go because education's important, it's like, okay, write that down. Understand when you're trying to sell to anybody, no matter what product or service it is, could be sponsorship, it's important to understand what kind of objections the customer or the potential customer or sponsor will come up with, because you need to come up with an answer for their objections, a way of putting their mind at rest. And it's going to be the same with your parents. If they're convinced in a certain way that it's not a good idea to do anything in life, you've got to come back and bounce back with a good argument in a way that help them see things in a different way and then give you the answer you want. So you've got to convince them. So I would see this as being a great opportunity for you to practice your sales skills, and you've to prove to them or to change their mind and give you a shot and say, okay, you can go karting or whatever it is. Which leads me into the second thing, is you can do a deal with them. So for example, if they say, I want you to do college first, I want you to really put your education at the forefront of your focus right now, and racing's going to take you away from it, then you do a deal with them. You can say, all right, explain to them first that if you're going to chase this dream, you've got to get into racing now. That's just the way it is, right? It's not actually true. You can start later, by the way, Sean, and everybody out there. You can start a bit later and just maybe do a bit of karting, rental karting on the side to get your hand in and get on really good at esports. But then as soon as you're old enough, you've got to really hit the ground running and make sure you're fast for cars. However, if you've got to start racing now, because you think it will give you the head start and you've got an opportunity, then you do a deal with them. You say, okay, I promise you I will get certain grades. I'll get at least B's in most of the things that I'm actually studying in. And if I do that over the next 6 months, can you just give me 2 years to have a crack at it? And I'll promise you that my grades will stay the same. My racing won't get in the way, but you give me 2 years, maybe 3. If you want to say 3 and then they knock you down to 2, fine. But give me 2 years of chasing my dream in racing and making that work. And then we'll get to the end of 2 years and we'll see where I'm at. And if I'm still nowhere and my grades are falling, fine, I'll go to college, get it done. But I think if you do a deal with them and you keep asking them about this deal until they're telling you off, don't mention it again, but you keep on about it over and over again, which is my third thing, by the way, is bang on and on and on about it. Don't let them think it's just a whim and I want to do racing this week and then next week you'll be wanting to do something else like gymnastics or something or tennis. It's like, no, this means a lot to me and you got to keep reminding them. So I'm merging step 2 and 3 here. Do a deal with them or offer a deal, but constantly offer it and keep telling them how much it means to you. Let them see you researching it. Let them see you going to races just to watch. And I think they might get the idea like this kid's just not giving up. And if you get them on the right day and you keep batting away their objections, I think eventually they might think, you know what, let's just let him do a race. Let's just let him go and do it and see what happens. And then you got to fulfill your deal. Keep them grades up if that is the thing. And also you've got that 2-year shot. Hopefully that's what it is. So I think first of all, know the objections. I have to keep reminding you what to do. I know I keep saying the same things, but I want you to go in. Get their objections. Have a counter argument or a way of helping them see it in a different way so their objections keep falling. You keep knocking them walls down. If that doesn't work, do a deal with them where they kind of say, oh, give me a shot for this period. And also the third thing is go on and on and on about it and prove how much it means to you to convince them until they break. And the fourth thing is maybe you could do it anyway. There's plenty of people, Arnold Schwarzenegger was one, right? His parents did not want him going and doing bodybuilding contests. His dad was a very strict guy. He made him stick to a very straight line. You're living in Austria, you're going to work this, you're going to live this life. You don't go to America and different places like that, showing off your body. You didn't do that in them days. What are you, some kind of freak? And he had to, I think he was in the army as well, actually, or army school or something. He had to escape at night, go and take the train, go to Graz or wherever it was, or Vienna, and do these bodybuilding contests and get back in before anyone noticed. It's difficult when you got to do it behind people's back, of course. I'm not saying that, but sometimes you might just have to do it anyway. And at least take steps towards your racing anyway, without anybody saying yes. You're your own person. And maybe they catch you, maybe they tell you off. Again, they'll understand that if he's doing this behind our back or she's doing this behind our back, it means a lot to them. It means a lot to our son and daughter, so we might just have to let them do it. So I'm afraid it's not an easy answer, this one. It's more like, let's just try and do different things until they cave, until they let you. Or if that doesn't work and you're old enough to you know, this is not Sean, this is other people now, but you're living under their roof and that means you need their money to live, you might have to move out, rent, or sleep with, you know, in a friend's flat on their mattress in the spare room or on their couch for a while, and you chase the dream on your own. Because when you're asking your parents to pay for your life, they've got say in how you live your life. It's the way it is. But if you're old enough to move out, 18 years old or whatever it is, and you're going to go your own way, just do it. If they're controlling you, they can't stop you if you're an adult and you're out there chasing your dream, but you're paying for your own bills. If you're on their credit, I'm afraid they've got a say in how you live. So there's a lot of layers to this, but I'm throwing loads of things at you and hopefully one will stick. The end of the day is that you've got a goal, you've got a dream. And if your parents don't see it the way you do, sometimes you just got to go for it. You got to try and convince them. If not, maybe you get a little bit naughty and you go racing anyway. I hope this helps inspire something, some kind of thought in the people that watch this, and some hope and understanding that everybody or a lot of people go through this problem. So it's not just you. Let me know how it goes.